What have you seen this summer that gives you confidence for what lies ahead?
Well, because I think we have a stability. We have finished second last season, and we have all the desire to improve as a team, and so we know that we have to jump forward and continue to improve. That's why I believe our pre-season games were encouraging, but of course now we go for points, and we want to transfer the confidence we got from our pre-season into efficiency in the championship.
You've got those injuries at the back. What options are you considering for Liverpool?
Well, I have a few options that you have seen in pre-season, and that is basically the players we have at the moment available, who are quite young but have a great desire to do well.
One of those is Rob Holding. How much of a step up will this be for him?
I believe that he's played in the championship, and so that is a good experience to play centre back in the championship, to deal with one level higher.
Arsene, hello. Could you just update us on the latest in terms of those injuries to your central defenders? I mean, we know Per Mertesacker is out long term, but can you just...
Per Mertesacker is out for, I believe, 4 months, and Gabriel 6 to 8 weeks. A bit better than expected because he doesn't need surgery, and he ruptured his ankle ligament, but not doesn't. We at the start we thought it could be 4 months, but it should be all right.
Were you a little dismayed when you saw just how much John Stones fetched in the transfer market, and the fact that Manchester City paid so much? Do you feel that may have inflated it a bit in terms of central defenders?
Well, yes, we know that in England the transfers are very high because there is an influx of money. When you go outside England, it's very high because you're English, so you're not too surprised about the transfers amount as well, because the clubs don't need the money in England, and that's why maybe they only weaken if the price is very high.
Is it getting harder than ever to try and find a bargain then?
Not so much, but I think it's harder than ever to convince people that you can buy good players at a reasonable price, and that the quality is necessarily linked with the amount of money today in everybody's mind. It's most of the time it's true. It's that the good players cost a lot of money, but you still can find players of top quality, sometimes at a reasonable price.
What can you tell us at this stage in terms of how your transfer dealings are going at the moment?
Look, today my focus is not too much on that, because we play in 48 hours a very important game, and to do well in this game anyway, the transfers will not help us now, because we have a strong squad. We have to deal with the game on Sunday with the squad we have available. But of course we lost basically 3 centre backs because we have Mertesacker, Gabriel and Koscielny, who is not ready, who are out of the game. So most of the time the injuries happen in the same sector. But I believe we are equipped to do well, and we are confident that we can do well. Transfer-wise, as soon as we do something, we will inform you.
Sure. No, I understand. I mean, can you say, for example, whether there is any progress being made on a deal from Mustafi?
No, I cannot tell you.
No, I understand. No, I mean,
What is good is that you understand.
it's yet another season for you, Arsene. Do you still get the same excitement looking ahead to it? Do you still have
Yes, of course.
same appetite?
I must say even more anxiety, because you want to do well, and you know how important it is. And this season maybe more than ever, because it looks like every club, of course, the clubs with disappointing results last year, top clubs, have new ambition as well. So it promises to be a very exciting one, and a very difficult one as well.
do you see this time perhaps 6 or 7 clubs being involved? I mean, Chelsea and Liverpool, for example, not even involved in Europe, are they? So that perhaps
Yes,
gives them an advantage.
that is a big surprise from last season. And you know, from last season you have two informations. The first, it's not necessarily the club who invested the most, who have won the championship or have been in the top. And the second thing is that teams like Leicester created a huge surprise. And will that be repeated by Leicester or by somebody else? So that makes the contest even more difficult.
How big a season might this prove to be for the likes of Jack Wilshere, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Theo Walcott?
For them it's a massive season because they had not been regularly involved in the English national team and all belong to the English national team. There's a new possibility for them as well, you know, because there's a new coach in the English national team. But especially I think what is the most important, to do well for their club, and they've been frustrated last season on that front.
Do you get a sense that they feel they have a point to prove?
They have all the three a point to prove, of course, for different reasons. Most of the time it is down to the fact that they were injured, and today at the top level you cannot be in and out. You know, you have to be consistently physically at the top. If you injured and come back, the difference between the players and the teams are so small that you need to be at the top physically.
Liverpool is a massive game. Are you happy enough that it's coming right at the start of the season? Is it good to get them out of the way, for example?
No, you know, I believe that it's not necessarily what Liverpool wanted and what we wanted, because usually you would like to have 4 or 5 games before the big games turn up, but the fixtures are as they are and you have to deal with it. It's the same problem for both teams.
And just how important is it to make this good start? I know last year you lost at home and then went on a great run, but presumably 3 points first up would be...
Well, we are on a good run in the Premier League because we are on a 10 games unbeaten run and we want to continue that, and the best way to do it is to start strong again. I feel we are focused, we have a huge desire in the squad, we are very ambitious, and we are humble enough as well to know that it is difficult in every single game today to win in the Premier League.
And just finally from me, Arsene, the new rules that are coming in, are you in favour of them? Are there any in particular that you approve of?
No, I am in favour of all of them. You are experienced as well, you know that the new rules will be difficult to push through on a longer distance, especially the descent. We have seen that before, and usually it weakens after a few games, and the penalties on corners as well. That is an eternal subject that we have talked so many times about, but on the longer period it has never been completely pushed through.
Thank you.
Have you spoken to your players, Arsene, about the new rules about dissent and what is now expected of them?
Look, what happens is every dissent you can get a red card, and the cameras are quite accurate now to identify everything you say on the football pitch, so we might have some surprises at the start of the season, but some teams have to be careful, us included, that you don't finish or play with 10 or 9 men.
You said a moment ago you believe you've got a strong squad, but how many players do you still think you need to add?
I don't count in number because number-wise we have too big a squad basically, like many teams. If we find the top quality, we still strengthen our squad.
And what else? We know that you need defenders, but what other areas are you looking at?
There's no other specific area where we don't need or we do need, because it will depend on the quality we find. If it's we find somebody who strengthens our team in any position, gives us a superior quality, we do it.
It's difficult, isn't it? As you said, you get a buzz about the new season, but do you get tired with the inflated prices and trying to compete with the likes of Man United and Manchester City with these now high transfer fees?
It's not so tiring, it's just surprising more than tiring. We knew that would happen. It was not difficult to anticipate that. And of course, it was difficult to imagine 5 or 10 years ago that it would go to that level, but that's maybe the consequence of the success and the popularity of the Premier League. After that, you can discuss. I said the other day the price of a player normally depends on his talent, on his expected strengthening of the team, on his age, and on his resale value. And but of course. After we are in a system where we are in a competition as well, and if your opponent pays 40, if you want to play, you have to play 45.
Can you compete with the likes of Manchester United when they go out and pay 89 million for a player? How hard does that make it for Arsenal?
Look, Man United is the richest club in the world, so basically with Real Madrid, so not many teams can compete on financial amount, but I feel that it doesn't make the difference because at the moment I feel on the pitch we can compete, and that is the most important. It's not a financial competition, football. It's a performance competition, and
is it becoming more though of a financial competition?
It is becoming, but the financial competition does not always reflect specifically after in the table of Premier League, and we have to make sure that is the case. And Leicester has shown that last year.
But do you think those clubs like Manchester United, Manchester City have stolen a bit of a march on Arsenal in this pre-season with the players, the money they've spent, the players they've brought in?
No, you focus on your squad, on your quality, and you try to strengthen where you can. And we were not specifically in competition with Man United on any player, so we have done what we wanted, and we want to do more. But we accept that, as you said, on a longer distance, certainly the money has a huge influence on the table. Sometimes on a shorter period, not so much, but we just try to compete at our level with all the assets we have, and I'm sure we can compete with them. We've shown that last Sunday.
Yeah, this is probably the difficult question. It looks a really open Premier League, doesn't it? Who would you say going into the season are the favourites to win the title?
I don't know. I'm like you, certainly. Everybody wonders what will happen there, and everybody will be keen to see the results of the first game, to see where the strengths and the weaknesses are. But it's very difficult this season, more than ever, certainly, to predict and to give any favourites.
A lot of focus seems to be on the managers this season with the new managers who've come in. Are you looking forward to the renewed rivalries with Guardiola?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. It will be interesting. But at the end of the day, the quality on the pitch will be the most important thing. And let's not forget, we finished second last year. We know what we have to do. We want to skip one more place. And we've been, in the last 3 years, we've been fourth, third, second. We know that we want to move forward again. And that's what we want to focus on.
Arsene, what are your thoughts on Jurgen Klopp and the progress Liverpool have made since he came?
I don't know. No, I cannot judge his work. He's a quality manager, and I think we'll see more of them this season.
Do you think you're in for a tough challenge on Sunday? Do you consider Liverpool as among the title contenders?
Yeah, you cannot dismiss Liverpool like anybody else. We have about 8-9 teams, certainly who can pretend they have a chance to win it.
Arsene, is there any updates on the contract negotiations with Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez?
No.
What's the reason for that, and is there a reason why it's been going on?
Well, we keep that internally, and we progress. We make progress always, but it's not always a quick process.
Is there any reason?
They still have 2 years contract.
Sure. So there's no reason Arsenal fans.
There's no
to be,
urgency as well.
so there's no reason for Arsenal fans to be concerned that it's.
No,
carrying
no,
on
there's
for-
no reason for Arsenal fans to be concerned.
Would you like to sort of after the transfer window?
There's a phone ringing here. I can take it if you want.
Is that there on the phone? After the transfer window's finished, is that when you hope to have more talks, perhaps?
Yeah, at the moment we have priorities who are a bit different, you know, because most of the time the extensions of a contract are done outside the transfer windows because it give you a bit more time and focus on that.
But you're still confident they'll agree terms at some point?
I think so.